So the work you are doing in a day is the work you will resonate with. You will resonate with awareness of that thing. And you will likely resonate with a solution on how to overcome that thing. If it's about lack of clarity, or if it's about lack of motivation, or lack of respect for people, or whatever area of life it should be about, you will do that work because you resonate with it. So imagine that you were intending to do way less than you possibly could actually do in a day. It's kind of like if you intend to do 5 push-ups. I don't know how good you are at push-ups. But let's say that you weren't that good. Well, the 4th and the 5th push-up would probably be very heavy. That's of course if you aren't that good at push-ups. But if you were reaching for, let's say, 20 or 50, you would start feeling tired at a totally different level than 4 and 5. So you have a lot more in you than you might think. And instead of intending that today I'm going to learn a little bit more about why salad and vegetables are good for me. Because you will probably learn something about that today. But the day is pretty long. You have a lot of time to learn so much, to realize so many things. And I would suggest that you reach for more than you can possibly achieve today. Way more. Because you will tap into more of this strength where you didn't achieve everything, but you were actually able to do 17 push-ups before you felt tired instead of just 4, because you have it in you. And when you reach for 9/11 and you have a sense of what that is like, well, then I suggest you reach further. I suggest you reach as absolutely far as you can possibly imagine. Because what you will achieve in one day and in 1 month will be many, many, many times more than if you reach for something that you very easily can achieve. You won't gain any true phenomenal strength in that way. And it's the type of strength that you really want as a Source player. When you are really truly empowered, you wouldn't really have gotten there by doing very small, tiny, easy tasks that you knew that you could do. And at the same time you will see that, well, of course, if you have some self-awareness, you will see that you achieved so much, so incredibly much, by reaching so far. And you weren't able to achieve everything that you reached for. But you will learn to be fine with it. Because you have reached for way too much. It just wasn't really possible. But you achieved so much more than if you just went out and reached for this easy, achievable little thing. And with this type of behavior over 1 year, for example, you can probably see somewhat in your mind's eye how the results will be completely different. And this mindset would go for all things in life. I wouldn't really have to mention any of them, but I could, just for maybe it could inspire in a way. So let's say that you want ultimate clarity about the game. You want to completely understand the subconscious. You want to completely understand what consciousness is and how it works, and the physical body and how that works. You want to understand the mind and have a good understanding for psychology. You want to understand all physics. Well, if you intended to completely understand all of these things for a month, compared to just having a little understanding of each of them over a month, then you too probably know that you wouldn't get the ultimate understanding for all of them in just 1 month. But the things you would resonate with and the type of work you would do, the type of things you would think about and sit down and figure out, would be much greater than if you had just intended to understand a little bit about self-hypnosis and just a little bit about consciousness. You would be playing a totally different game. You would have a totally different gain. And you wouldn't learn everything, but you would probably learn 100 times more than if you reached for way too little. Maybe even 1,000 times more. Maybe much more than that even. And also with smaller things. Let's say that you realize that you need to vacuum your room, but you don't want to. And that would be the thing hindering you from actually just doing it right now. Imagine that you intended that you would actually want to do it over the next 24 hours, compared to if you could just snap into it in a second and have a true desire to vacuum the room. If that is what you reach for, well then maybe you could snap into it in 5 seconds. Maybe 15 seconds, compared to where it could take 8 hours if you had that first mindset. And it goes with everything. Reach for more than you can possibly achieve.